Hey everybody, how's it going? Creature's back in the shop once again with the Little Chunks slot machine. I believe this is episode 4 of repairs. Last time you seen me pop fuse out. The 1 amp fuse. I happen to have another one. I did have another one, I didn't have to go get it, so I do have another one. So we're gonna rock and roll with the one I got in my hands. So we're gonna go ahead and put this in. Little tiny itty 1 amp fuse. Tiny little fucking things, but there it is. Maybe that'll work. I went ahead and cleaned up the tumblers, I guess you call them, rollers, whatever. So look at them, they're all pretty. Okay. So we got that done. So now it's going to be some reassembly today. Not a lot, but a little bit. I want to get the power put back in back here, the brain put back in, or not the brain, the power box put back in. I done a little bit of painting off camera. I mean, I can show it to you real quick. I did a little bit of painting, a little bit of cleaning, just off camera stuff, you know, stuff you really don't want to see is painting and cleaning, and just, I know that's incredibly boring. Let me set you back up in the shot where you're supposed to be here. But once again, you know, just getting the little stuff out of the way, stuff that I know I can do, stuff I know how to do. The cleaning, the painting, the certain types of wiring I know how to do. You know, just easy stuff. So I've talked to the guy that wants this, and he kind of wants me to leave it the way it is. He doesn't want me to do LEDs. I'm trying to convince him that LEDs will last longer. I'm trying to convince him that LEDs probably will be the better bet, the easier way to go. But he seems to like the aesthetic of the incandescent bulbs, which, I mean, the bulbs have lasted this long. They're probably going to last longer. I will admit that. They will probably last at least 6 months more. I mean, as long as there's no power surges, as long as the power stays on, and he's not constantly turning the machine on and off, on and off, on and off, on and off. You know, he only turns it on when people come by. He only turns it off when people are gone. Then technically, the incandescent bulbs will be fine, technically. Would I like to upgrade it? Yes, I think it would be neat to be upgraded and to have new upgraded hardware put in it, and thing have LEDs and it be really bright and really flashy, but some people just like the yellow glow of incandescent bulbs. And I mean, I understand it, I get it. I like the more modern stuff, but hey, I think it's all personal, right? It's all personal preference. Having the new stuff put in, yeah, you can boast about it, you can brag about it, you know, I took such and such and made it such and such. That's great, right? And if it's really what he wants, if it's really the way he wants to go, then, you know, later down the road, I'll still do it. I'll still give it to him the way he wants it. I just, how to put it, I would much rather do it now and go ahead and get it done than a year from now him call me up and say, hey, can you still put those LEDs in? because I'd really like to have them put in, because buying incandescent bulbs is killing me. Either way is fine, right? I really have no preference either way. I will do both. I don't have a problem with it. So we're going to get in here. Y'all are going to see me put this plate in real quick. Just because I think you'd like to watch it. So, I kinda, kinda, I like, I guess you'd call it retrofitting, right? Coming in, taking something like this, so a machine like this, making it new, making it modern. Making it modern, but keeping the overall aesthetic the same, right? You're going to make it modern, but it's going to have LEDs and a new board and you know, just new stuff, right? Make me happy. But there again, I see the appeal in keeping something like this retro, I guess is what you would call it. I mean, I guess it would be retro. That's a good question. Would it be retro? Or is this retro? I mean, I know it's from the 90s, and the machine itself is well over 30 years old at this point. But is it retro? Is it a retro machine because it's older? I don't know. Would I consider it a retro machine? Meh. I mean, it's old. Of course, I'm old. I mean, I was born in '83, and this thing is younger than I am. But a lot of people are saying that these machines, the way they are, they're retro. Now, granted, retro is a term that's been thrown around and kicked around and used and abused, and right, everything is retro now. Everything is retro. This is retro, that's retro, blah, 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 blah. What's really retro? Well, honestly, retro to me would almost be like if this thing was 100% mechanical, right? It had the on the side that caused the rollers to spin, and the only way it would pay out is if this roller, and this roller, the gears in it matched a certain thing, and then it would pay money. I understand that. So this one, to me, is not technically retro. I guess it is. Retro would be a certain amount of time, right? For something to be quote-unquote retro, it would have to be a certain amount of time, which I understand, right? It would have to be 60, 80 years old. I mean, this one's half that, so could it be considered retro? Could it be considered just old? I mean, I don't know. I'm not one that does a bunch of stuff like this. Like, honest to God, I've never actually done anything like this before. So, personally, yeah, I kind of want to leave it the way it is. But there again, I want to put LEDs in it because I think putting LEDs in it would make it prettier, would make it nicer, would make it more, how to say, would make it more fun, because it would make it brighter, it would make it better to look at. Apparently, from what I have read online, you can take a diagnostic cable, plug it in back here, and you can change the what's said, right? If anything is said, which I don't think it is. I think it's just a sound, a biddy when you win. I think it's just a straight up digital type thing, right? But you can upload like sounds and words and, you know, people saying, hey, you win, or 777 luck, right? You can upload stuff like that into it, which is fine. And I know some people are going to comment on the last video that I done, not the last one, the one before that, episode, which ended up being episode 2, that I said I had a bunch of commutators that went in here, and I don't have a bunch of commutators. I just like the way it says, or the way it sounds. You know, somebody says, I've got a commutator that I'm going to put in. It's like, ooh, fancy. I don't, honest to God, really know what a commutator is. Shoot me. But I did get stuff fairly cleaned up, right? This, I didn't take the rollers out to clean them up. I just cleaned them where they were. Mainly because I'm afraid that if I do, that I'm going to mess up the mechanics in it somehow. And I don't want to do that. Mainly because I know it works. And I don't want to run the risk of, as I said numerous times in doing this, I don't know what I'm doing, so I don't want to run the risk of bumping something, of moving these out of alignment, of making them to where they don't pick up anymore, right? I mean, I know I've still got to align them because I have to align them to the windows, but I can do that just by moving them 2 or 3 degrees, right? There's no big, like, see that right there? To me, that right there should be straight across, right? But once you take these off, the watermelons may not be straight across anymore. See? So there, right? That to me is just like it was when I put the tape on them. That's my idea of keeping things aligned, is you mark where it's at and you put it back where it was when you took it out. Now, like I said, I did replace the fuse over here. I replaced that tiny little fuse back there on that board, and the fuse is right here. And that fuse supposedly operates the stop buttons over here. We're going to see once we put the brain back in, once we put the hopper back in. I still have to clean the hopper up, which is fine. I can clean the hopper. The hopper is fine. We're going to clean the hopper up probably in this episode. I'm probably fixing to clean it up here in just a minute. We're going to clean the hopper up. We're going to put the brain back in, which the brain, for all of its nastiness, came out wonderfully, right? This thing was full of cobwebs and just rat junk and just nasty. I'm surprised it even worked when I fired it up, but it did. And this was the board that attached to this via those wires that I cleaned up as well, and I cleaned this up, and everything actually came fairly clean, so I'm surprised that it came as clean as it did. Still kind of worries me that when I fired it up, it worked. Like, that by itself scares me. That with that much, well, it doesn't necessarily scare me as much as it makes me think this thing had to have been built to withstand some really, really tough stuff. Because with all of that rat nest and gunk and goo and just dust and dirt and spiders and bugs, that it still worked. And it worked on the first pull, right? I didn't have to do anything super special. It's like I put the coins in and it fired up. So I think that says something about this, but it also scares me to the point that I don't know if the buttons were caused by that, if it was caused by something that the rat's done, if it was caused by something that maybe a bug got on. right? Did it fry something else? Did it? Right, and that's the part that worries me, is that I'm going to get into this thing, especially on this side. I'm going to get into it, and I'm going to start finding small things, small capacitors that are burnt small diodes that need to be replaced, small, just the little tiny stuff that honestly people think, well, it's just little tiny itty bitty stuff, right? It shouldn't be that hard to fix. And then you really get into it, and something like a diode or a capacitor or something like that that could be in one of these boxes or in this thing, or right, could take me 2 or 3 hours to replace because I have to chase it down, right? I may be looking at this diode, but it's not this one that's blown, it's this one over here, and I have to pick. Aha, I found it. And that takes me like an hour and a half just to find it. Then when I find it, I can replace it. Which, if y'all would like to see stuff like that, let me know. I would be more than happy to put on here some electronics fix stuff like that. But you see how this is just, it's muddy, it's nasty, right? This is all rat junk, muddy feet, probably rat piss, which is the reason I'm cleaning it with a Clorox wipe, because I just want it cleaned up where it's not going to smell. I want it cleaned up where it's not going to, I mean, this is plastic, it's not going to rust, but like the guy that I'm giving it to, even though he's a buddy of mine, the man that I'm selling it to, like I said, is putting it in a bar. It's his man cave bar, right? It's what he's going to use to entertain people. And I don't, one of my big things is, right, the guy's friends come over and they start playing the slot machine, and oh no, yeah, right, one light bulbs went out, I got to replace the light bulb real quick. And he opens the thing up and it's just full of shit, right? Rat nest, bugs, rust, right? I mean, I know that right there is rusted. But there again, that's messing with the tumbler, and I didn't want to mess with the tumbler because I'm afraid of knocking something out of alignment. Now, if I do enough of these, which like I said, this is just my first one, if I do enough of these, and I get them in a routine, right, I can do them, and what takes me, well, I mean, this one so far has taken me, what you guys have seen has taken me a week. What has honestly taken me 2 days. And it's just, I want it to look good, right? When you start building stuff like this and making things of this nature, presentation to your customer is your selling point, right? The selling point is not, yes, I can do it, let me do it, I can prove to you that I can do it. That's not your selling point. Your selling point is, here it is, it's finished, it looks good, it functions correctly, there's no bugs, there's no blips, right? Good, that's a 90s term, blip. How to put it in today's kid language. There's no, oh God, how would you say it? Big screw-ups. I'm just going to say it like I know how to say it. There's no big screw-ups, right? There's no, like, putting the coin in and it not running. There's no putting the coin in and it going, nope, you didn't drop a coin. Right? So, I've got people saying that they've got pinball machines they want me to work on now, that they've got all this other stuff for me to work on, which I accept. I accept that wholeheartedly. Can I get a pinball machine in my tiny little shop? Yes, sort of. It would be a stretch. I mean, it would literally be it would be a tight fit. Could I do it? Yes. Would I do it? Absolutely. Right? To quote a friend of mine, God love him, I am a job whore, right? If I can do anything to make a buck, I'll do it. I'm pretty much, you know, I've fixed lawnmowers, I've fixed lawnmowers, I've fixed cars, I've fixed water fountains, I've fixed any number of shit I've fixed. And I don't mind fixing it, right? I don't mind being a repairman. I really, really don't. I kind of like fixing things. Fixing things is cathartic to me. I like going through it. It's a healing thing, I guess. I like the fact that I can pick through things, I can find what's wrong with them, and I can fix them. A lot of people would hear that and be like, masculine traits. He likes to fix things. Well, true. But I don't like to fix people. Right? I try my best not to fix people as much as I can. I try my best not to fix situations as much as I can. Family is a different story, but friends, you know, if they have issues, I'm there for you, but I'm not going to fix it for you. I will listen to your plight, I will listen to your problems, but other than that, I'm not doing anything else. Now, what I'm doing here is, this is the brain box. I cleaned up the rat mess on the side, I painted it, I got it back to what I think would be an original acceptable spot. Now comes the fun part of attaching this piece of Lexan, which I love the fact that this thing is so old and it's got a piece of damn Lexan in it, which is not really Lexan, it's just a piece of plexiglass of some sort, but it reminds me of Lexan. It just does. I don't know why, but it does. And I used to play with Lexan as a kid with plexiglass, trying to make creature boxes and things to put critters in, and my mom hated it. She was like, why you always gotta bring home a creature? Why can't you just be like normal kids and bring home a bug or something? You got to bring home lizards and shit like that. And I'm like, Mom, because I can. That's the whole thing. I do it because I can. She's like, well, I wish you'd stop. Like, Mama, really? Really, Mama? Really? I know that you don't like me bringing home things like that, but I kind of sort of can't help it, Ma. I just kind of sort of can't help it. I like animals. Well, I wish you'd find something else to like. You know? I like girls, but you won't let me bring those home. Which she didn't think was funny. Oh, Lord. Anyway, what I'm doing here, just to keep you on the upside of all this, is just putting brackets back, putting things back that go back in places that they need to go. Technically, I could go ahead and put the brain back on it, and the brain would sit, which I think I'm fixing to do. Remember, this is the brain. This is the thing that makes the whole machine work. This is the thing that, if it goes sideways, the machine will not work anymore. It will not operate. It will not turn on. It will not do anything. I managed to keep the sticker on it, even though I split it. I still kept sticker on it. So he'll be happy about that. He'll see some of the original stickers. The only one that I couldn't keep was the blue one that went from here onto that, which is fine, right? One sticker missing out of 3, I think he'll be fine with. If not, hey, contact me if you want a Or you want a slot machine. Now then, I gotta remember how this thing went on here. Because if I remember correctly, which I may not, I believe that slid up in there, and yeah, because that's the side with the sticker on it. Oh, that's right, this was bolted to the back. This was bolted to the back. That's right. So this whole thing has to go in first. I remember. It took me a minute, but I remember. This thing was bolted to the back. You put the whole assembly in, and then you put. I remember. Okay. So anyhow, where was that? The fuck was I talking about? Oh yeah. Doing all the things. I rightly enjoy repairing things. I think it's fun. My buddies don't. They're like, dude, you repair stuff all the time. Why? Well, because of my ADHD, I like to take things that are broken, make them work again, and put them back together. And they're like, but that's so boring. Well, to you, it may be. It may be a very, very boring thing. To an ADHD brain, such as myself, it is not. It is anything but boring for me to take something like this apart and put it back together. Now, you probably can't see what I'm doing, which is fine. I'm just putting the screws back into the board here, support screws, back into the board, and we get the brain back in, plug everything up, and see how everything goes. One thing that I got to do that I forgot to do is get a power cord. I forgot to put the power cord in, which is fine. I mean, I pull the electrical box out, put the power cord in, put the electrical box back. That ain't the problem. Because I just forgot to do it. But everybody's like, why? Why do you want to do this for a living? Why do you like to work on things for a living? So, well, if I can get paid for doing something that I enjoy doing, why not? Why not get paid for something that I know I'm going to like, instead of getting paid a minimal amount for something that I might like, or that I might want to do, or that I might enjoy. Right? I know I enjoy this. I know that I enjoy working on cars. I know that I enjoy working on computers. Eventually you guys are going to see me fire up my CNC machine. It's, like I said, it's just cathartic. I like it. It's one of those things that you give me something broken, I take it, and I make it work. And two people at that point are happy. You're happy because the thing that was broken is now fixed. And I'm happy because the thing that you thought was broken is now fixed. Now granted, when we got this in my shop, it was not broken. It was operational, it was functional, it was working. But there's a caveat to that, right? Just because it was functional and working doesn't mean that it was where I would want it to be to sell it to somebody. And that's kind of ultimately where I'm going with this. Is my buddy said that he wants it for his man cave. I wasn't even actually, at the time, planning on selling the damn thing. It just kind of happened that way. I told him I was working on it, that I had got it, and I was going to be putting it back together, and that I was going to be piecing it back together, and he said, well, when it's done, I want it. I was like, sight unseen? You haven't even seen one of these? Nope, I've wanted a slot machine in my man cave forever. He said, so you have one, and I have the opportunity to acquire it. So, I mean, how am I going to say no to something like that? I mean, really. He's a good friend. He's a mentor to the Boy Scouts. And I know a lot of people say a lot of bad things about Boy Scouts, and, you know, I could honestly care less. He's a good guy. And I think that he would benefit greatly from having this, right? He would enjoy it. Which is mainly what I want to hear, is that he will enjoy it. It will be something that he will enjoy. It's not going to be something that's going to sit in a warehouse for years. And for people that are wondering what I'm doing, I don't know if I can get my light down there or not. I'm plugging all these wires up. These what I call brain box wires. Just plugging them all up, getting everything set back the way it was, so that I can put the power cord on and see if it works. Where was it? Oh yeah. If I was going to make this and somebody was just going to hang on to it for years and years and years and years and years and years and years, and it was just going to sit somewhere and gather dust and never be played with, never have coins put in it, never be used, I think it would upset me, because I put time into it and I know that it works. Making sure all my connections are connected. And we're going to, yeah, because those two come up front. Ow! I smacked something. Right? You got these two guys, which are fine. And they plug into this thing too, so let me get these two that I cleaned up. These are clean, by the way. I cleaned them up from what they were. So, let me see something. That's what I thought. Anyway, just randomness. Sorry. Like I said, I would much rather have people enjoy this, right? Enjoy it being in their house. Enjoy it being, even with their kids, right? Let their kids fucking play on it. You know, how many times is it, and this goes for me as a child too. My uncle that died a few years back had a slot machine, old slot machine, like a 20s slot machine, in his living room that you played with nickels. And I would go over there and I would run nickel after nickel after nickel after nickel through this machine. And sometimes I would get lucky and it would pay out, and loved it, right? My dad and him would be just visiting with each other and talking with each other, and I would be sitting in the floor, just, well, not really in the floor because it was high. Like, it sat in the floor, but it was a good 3 foot tall, so I would actually sit in a chair and I'd pull the handle and the tumblers were and dang it, I missed. And pull it again, right? And then when it would hit, I would get super, super, super excited. And that time in my life was awesome, because I got to play on a damn slot machine. I was overjoyed happy, right? Because I got to play on a damn slot machine. How many kids gets to go play the slots? So the fact that I get to put this in my buddy's house, his kids get to potentially play on it, right? And I worked on it and got it up to spec. Now granted, like I said, he wants it to stay retro, quote unquote. He wants it to stay very very much the way it is, and I can respect that. If it were me, right, I would want it to be LEDs and voices and bright and shiny, and you know, that kind of thing would make me happy. It's not going to make him happy, and it's not what he wants. So I'm good with that. I'm okay with that. Let it be known that I have no ill will toward, and you're looking at my bench now, look at there. I have no ill will toward my buddy wanting to keep this a quote unquote retro machine. Let me get the power cord, people, and I will be right back. Okay, are we good? Yeah, we're good. Alright guys, I'm back at you. Had to go get the power cord. This one was in the office. Had to go get it. I don't know if you can see it or not, but it's just a regular, everyday run-of-the-mill power cord, 2-prong. A little bit more updated from the one that we took off of it. Much better. This is one of those that I ran across a bunch of these guys. I want to say at an auction. They were getting rid of a bunch of them, and I think I bought a 5-gallon bucket full of cords. Which, understandably, a 5-gallon bucket full of cords is a lot, especially a lot of charge cords and power cords. And I got them for next to nothing. I think I bought the 5-gallon bucket for $4, $5. So yeah, what we're going to do is we're going to skin this back. We're going to attach this. Get some light over here. There we go. We're going to skin this back, attach this, butt connect it more than likely. If I have some small enough butt connectors. And we're just going to let it ride with that, because this is a new cord, and I think that it'll do a whole lot better than, plus the gray one that I pulled off, I actually rattled through my brain about keeping it until I found a bunch of spots in it where rats had chewed through it. There was a lot of bare wire on it, so I'm once again, I'm very surprised that it actually worked when I turned it on the first time. Let me get some butt connectors. Hang on just a second. I think those will work with some smalls. Yeah, we'll do smalls. You're killing me, Smalls, you're killing me. And we'll wrap it in, some red electrical tape. Just because I feel like using red. Red. Now, the story goes with this tool right here. These, my dad gave me from, oh, so many years ago. You can see the patent on them, right? Station lug, T-wrap, right? You'd almost look at this and go, okay, well, these are new. No, these are at least 40 years old. They're at least as old as I am. And I've used them. I've never sharpened them. As you can see, they've been in water. They've been in just horrible conditions. But they work. And I can't say enough about things that just work. Right? There's a meme that's going around that talks about how if things just work, you never mess with them, which I can agree with, right? If you find something that just works, you don't try and reinvent the wheel. You just don't. No matter how hard you try, you're not going to be able to. And a lot of people are freaking out right now at their screens. He's cutting that with a razor blade, and he's cutting it with bare fingers, and he's going to cut his damn finger off. Ah, my mom would be one that would be freaking out right now. Even though I'm 40 years old, and I've been handling electrical stuff for at least 20 of those 40 years, she would be the one to be flipping out. Of course, she's mom, so that is understandable. But there are times when I'm like, Mom, would you stop? What? I just worry that you're going to mess something up. Well, I'm not. So just chill. And I love her. She's my mama. Mrs. Creature is inside right now, mama-ing her own right now at the moment, because she's inside teaching the little creatures, because we do homeschooling. So, hey, look, I stripped that one back already. Alright. I was trying not to get into the coating already, but since we did, I will go ahead and put this black one on. And yes, I should probably have my clients out here, and yes, I should probably be using them, but I'm not. I'll get them out. Just because I can hear people, excuse me, not my clients, my South Flyers. I can hear people in the comments section now, you're not being safe. Well, no, I'm not being safe. Mike Rowe said something a long time ago that I believe in, safety third. And everybody's like, safety third, what does that mean, safety third? Well, if I'm worried about your safety and his safety and her safety and their safety and everybody else's safety, then I'm not thinking about myself. If I'm worried about everybody else's safety, then my safety goes by the wayside. And I am somebody that doesn't necessarily like that. I would much rather take care of myself, right? And by taking care of myself is knowing my surroundings and paying attention to what I'm doing. If I'm worried about safety so much, I'm not going to be paying attention to what's happening. And if I'm not paying attention to what's happening, I'm going to screw something up. A lot of my maker friends out there can attest to that. I have been in the middle of doing something about like this and got in the middle of it and all of a sudden went, oh shit, what did I just do? I connected this wrong. I connected that wrong. I put this on the wrong side. I put that on the wrong side. What's some of the others? I was supposed to connect this up here, not that down there. And it's led to some pretty, to everybody else would be some pretty funny and fervent instances of I told you so. Especially when it comes to electricity. Because as my fellow electricians out there can attest, it don't take but one time for you to go, oops, and things go wrong rather quickly. It's not a Oops is not a forgiving thing when it comes to electricity. Oops is something you say when you figure out things have gone wrong and you're like, oops, what do I do now? And by the time you figure out that oops, something is usually, not always, but usually, something is on fire. And from a firefighter's perspective, that's usually what happens. Is when you hear somebody say, oops, and well, things have gone bad at that point. You don't ever want to hear oops. Oopsies are never good. A few other things you don't want to hear on the fire ground is damn it. That usually follows an oopsie. If somebody on the fire ground is suddenly screaming damn it, then they've done something they weren't supposed to do. And they're cussing about it because they don't want you to beat them to it. Because a lot of times a fireman will, how to put it, tell on himself. With the words that come out of his mouth, you can tell if a fireman has screwed something up or not. And damn it being one of the greats, right? We used to have a counter in the kitchen at the fire department that was the damn it counter, because we had a couple guys that would just say damn it for no reason. They didn't count. They were the ones that would pull the Hank Hill, the damn it Bobby, a lot. And it didn't help when we actually had a guy named Bobby on the fire department. You didn't know whether he was whether he was being spoken to, or whether it was just a common thing, which to me is kind of funny. I'm not gonna lie, I have said "damn it, Bobby" a couple times myself. I probably in these episodes more than once. God bless Hank Hill. But anyhow, twist these together. Twist your strands up. I usually try and go in opposite directions, right? Twist one side one way, the other side the other way. Nip off the excess so you get a good flat end, and crimp them. I had to cut the sheeting back because I had cut it too short. That happens. Doesn't happen all the time, but it happens. You know, things being too short. Don't kill me. If my wife heard me make that joke, she'd be like, shut up. I always do that. A lot of people don't, right? They don't crimp all the way through. I do, because to me, it feels like it gives a better lock. I don't worry near as much about the wire pulling out if I crimp it all the way across like that. I don't. It will not cross my mind that could come loose later. Crimp it down all the way across, good, tight. You can pull on it, it's not coming out. And then I like to take them and wrap them in a bit of this. Now this is preference. You don't have to do this. This is my preference when it comes to doing electrical work. I like to wrap these together. We used to do it in the tower field when I worked on cell phone towers for Verizon and Sprint and T-Mobile and all of those, right? You'd always wrap your connections, just because if a tiny little bit of water got in it, it would screw it up, and it would do it quite often, right? You'd think you're done on a job, you get ready to leave, you're packing up all your gear, you're gathering all your tools, right? And you go home and you're getting ready to lay everything out for the next job, and you get a phone call, hey, there's water damage on such and such, I need you to go back out. So you pack all your shit back up again, and you go back out again, and it's a pain in the ass to have to revisit places. But there it is. My plug is on now. Now I get to come back up here, back up to my lovely brain box. Not my brain box, my heart. You could call the power supply of these things the heart of the machine, right? Because it supplies the go juice, right? Your heart in your body kind of supplies your body with the ability to go and do, right? Because your heart feeds your brain. Well, the power boxes in these things also feed the brain. Now, the question is, can I get it out? Oh, probably not. I'm gonna have to take these back loose again. Yay me! Which is fine. It's fine. Don't get upset. It's fine. Usually when I have to do things twice or 3 times, I get upset, but I'm not. It's fine. No cussing today. It's fine. It's fine, it's fine, it's fine. Just keep telling yourself it's fine. It's fine. It's fine, it's fine, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I mean, it's my fault. I left the power cord out, so if I need to get pissed at anybody, I need to get pissed at myself, because I did it. But yeah. Pull this out. Ooh, heavy. Feed the cord through the hole. My ferrule I forgot to put on. Son of a bitch. See? Not gonna get mad. 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 Not going to get mad. I'm not going to get mad. Keep telling yourself you're not going to get mad, because if I don't, I'm going to start cussing, and cussing is bad. I'm not going to get mad. I'm not going to get mad. I'm not going to get mad. You can take these out, but they're not easy, because they're pushed in fairly deep. And I do not have the tool to remove them. I'm not going to get mad. I'm not going to get mad. I'm not going to get mad. God bless it. Why didn't you people out there in internet land remind me that I needed to put the ferrule on? You were probably screaming at the screen, hey, idiot, put the damn ferrule on, and I forgot. Oh, c'est la vie. C'est la vie. So once again, I'm redoing everything that I just done. Taking the tape back off and redoing it. See, even us amateurs make mistakes. Oh, I swear. Life is good. Just don't let it get you down. Because as soon as you do, you'll break something. And I don't want to break anything. Anyway. So I got to get me 2 more butt connectors. Sorry about that. I just wasted 2 butt connectors because I'm... Don't get mad. 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 There's no reason to get mad. There's no reason to get upset. Getting upset will not accomplish anything. Do not get upset. Do not get mad. These are your words of wisdom brought to you by Creature. Do not get mad. Do not get upset. Do not get irate. Do not get frustrated. Do not get flustered. Do not get angry. Do not pull a Hulk. Somebody is calling me on the phone. I am busy. I will talk to you later. Anyhow, now that I have once again put this nasty ass ferrule on, I will strip these wires one more time and put 2 new butt connectors on it. Thank God I have a fair amount of them from a different job that I done. Anybody that fast forwards through these videos is going to see me put these butt connectors on, take them, or do some other things, and then come back to me putting another set of butt connectors on because I forgot to put that damn ferrule on. Now, the ferrule would not clean up. I tried my best. Well, it's coming clean now. Maybe soaking it overnight with the Clorox wipe actually worked. I'm impressed. Clorox wipes come through in the end. Because I did. I wrapped this thing in a Clorox wipe and left it overnight. My thought process was, well, it'll either melt it or it'll loosen the stuff up so I can clean it. So apparently it loosened it up. Awesome. Look at that. That looks pretty. I did not know if that would work or not. But it sure did. Come clean, come clean, come clean. Look at there. So anyhow, back to what I was saying. What was I ranting about before? I was waffling about something. And I don't know what it was. My UK friends are going to hear me using the word waffle, and they're going to be like, dude, stop. Just stop. Like, it's not coming completely clean, but they don't like it when I use their words because they say that I don't use them correctly or in the correct tense. I think I use them in the correct tense. They're like, no, you don't. Stop it. So here we go. We're going to restrip these wires again just because I'm a goofus and I forgot to do it. Or I forgot to put the ferrule on before I done it last time. Those are just not big enough. They're not small enough. Where was I? I was talking about something before. I don't remember. Anyhow, I used to do a lot of electrical work when I was in the haunt business, working for Scarewinds and working for our local haunt here where I live. I was constantly having to do some kind of electrical work. You know, something was broken, something didn't pan out right. Somebody hit one of the animatronics and now it's... There was one, I will tell this story just because to me it's funny. To the guy that was in the room with the electronic when it started doing it, it wasn't. We had this guy that we called the Corpsulator. And the Corpsulator was a dummy mannequin in a coffin that he would come out on a type of spring, right? It was a it was the accordion thing, right? Because everything was attached like that. So when it came out, it did that, right? It would come out and then go back, come back, go back. Well, the guy that was running it, he was a teenager. He was a real young guy. And at the time, his job running the Corpsulator, because we hadn't automated it completely, right? You still had to push a button. And when it got bad enough, when he broke down bad enough, not only did you have to push a button, but you had to pull a lever to make the accordion thing work to shoot him out of the coffin. But anyhow, that was a breakdown from a few customers running into the thing, because we scared them bad enough that they ran into it. When they ran into it, they broke it. But that's another story. Anyhow, I'll get back to this one. So my buddy is in there, and he's operating the Corpsulator, and the thing goes out and it comes back, and everybody in the line screams. Well, something happened in the brain box of the thing, and it went out and it came back in, and then all of a sudden it just started like jerking, like it would shoot out, come back, 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 and it was doing it repetitively. And as it was doing it, the dummy was vibrating. Well, we had recorded some stuff to put into the monologue for it. You know, get out of my cemetery, what are you doing in my freezer, I think was one of them. And it wasn't finishing whole sentences. It would start a sentence, get out of in my freeze, what did you get first ever? And the guy that was running it, the poor kid that was running it, he only stayed for a night. It scared him so bad to be in there with the thing that he wouldn't come back. He's like, nope. Nope, I'm done. I'm not getting in there with that thing. It's possessed. It tried to kill me the last time I was in there. I'm not doing it. I'm going home. And he did. He went home that night. Told him to go home, right, because the Corpsulator needed to be fixed. And told him to go home. He went home. Called him the next night and was like, hey dude, are you coming in? He's like, nope, 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 nope. You can keep that possessed piece of junk away from me. I don't want to see it. I couldn't sleep last night. It's possessed. Like, he was just going on and on and on and on and on about it. And honestly, what I think happened, and this is just me, what I think happened was, we had too much of a draw, power-wise, on the circuit because of the fact that we had it was pneumatic powered, right? So we had the air compressor on it. We had the computer that was running the thing on it. We had the lights on it, the strobe lights that were on the circuit, and it just couldn't handle it. And when the circuit overloaded, it power surged. And when it power surged, it fried the inside of the board. And to watch his face when this thing started going ape shit. Oh God. I wanted to tell him it was okay, not to worry about it. We would fix it. You know, just go hang out in the break room. We'll call you when it's done and over with. And I could not get it out for laughing so hard. Now, granted, I probably should not have done that, right? I should not have laughed at him. I should not have laughed at him. But the poor kid was having some gigantic mental breakdown over this thing jerking and jumping, and I couldn't help it. I just laughed at him. I am probably the reason he did not come back to work. I don't know. Mainly because of the, oh shit. I did not mark this thing. Well, fuck me running. Mainly because of the how to put it. The kid thought the thing had a ghost. And because he thought it had a ghost, he was not coming back. Right? And I get it. We're working in an old rundown hosiery mill from the early 30s. I understand it, right? I get it. You don't want to come back because you're afraid of what might be inside. I understand. But I hope he does not bear any ill will toward me for getting the giggles. Mainly because it wasn't on purpose. The kid was funny. The look on his face and the size of his eyes when he seen this 6 foot, I will give it that, right? The animatronic itself was a 6 foot animatronic, right? The dummy that was on it was 6 foot tall. And it came out at an angle that put the dummy 8 feet in the air. So it was not just a like jump boo and that was it, right? It went a fair amount of feet before it stopped. And the scene that I can portray to you of what I seen when I went into his room, because he had called for an emergency shutdown of the house because of issues. The way his poor face looked when we got in there was priceless. It was if you can imagine seeing a if you can imagine seeing somebody that had just seen their worst ever loving nightmare come to life, and their nightmare has them pinned in a corner. Oh, what I was doing there, I don't know if you can see that or not. What I was doing there was checking to see where the how the plug orientation was on the power box. If you can imagine this poor kid huddled up in the corner of this room, and he's not screaming, he's not hollering, he's not even shaking. He is slowly and methodically watching this dummy in front of him. Now let me get you a better shot of this. He's watching this dummy jerk and shake and scream and squelch and all this good jazz. And he's watching it all happen, and he's freaking out a little bit over it, but he's not letting it be seen, right? He's calm, he's cool, he's composed. He's keeping a straight face. But the look of horror and terror in this kid's face, from this thing going 12 feet in the air and bouncing around and jerking, and the electronics making all kind of weird noises, and he's just like, was priceless. It just was. It was priceless. To me, it was priceless. To me, it was... This kid talks a big game, right? He talks this just amazing amount of, you know, you don't know what you're doing, you don't know this, you don't know that, I've been in this, I've been in that, blah, 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 blah. And then he gets absolutely destroyed by an animatronic, something that's not real, just having a bad day. And animatronics do that. They just have bad days, right? They just have these, and we call them, I guess that's where he got it from, was we used to call them the ghost in the machine, because you would be in the middle of updating software, updating the firmware, whatever, you know, so that it would run the voices or the whatever, and it would just start talking for no reason. And it was saying stuff that you programmed into it, so it's not like it was saying, you know, gibberish. But to see him physically come apart at that was just comical. It was funny. I'm good friends with him now, right? I rib him about it every once in a while, about, you know, he better be nice or I'm going to go get the prop back after him again. Or I know where the corpsulator hangs out at night. I will go get him. And of course he just throws a bunch of expletives at me and tells me to go away. But I love him. He's a good guy. He's a good kid. He's about 13 years younger than I am. And if that tells you anything, I'm 40. I am 40 years young, which is wonderful. 40-year-old man playing with slot machines. I was going to make an inappropriate joke, but I will not. So, anyhow, you got to love smoke, man. I'm very sorely tempted to go ahead and take this machine apart and clean it. I probably will not, because it works, and I don't like messing with things that work. I clean it up, I put it back. But there, my friends, is the slot machine. Now, if I plug it up, everything is back the way it was. If I plug it up, will it explode? That's the $100 million question. So we're going to test that. You guys are going to sit back here, so if I get electrocuted, you can laugh at me. Alrighty then. Hopefully I won't get copyright claimed for that. We'll see. YouTube's been copyright claiming some strange stuff recently. So, I mean, they don't like it tough. Here we go, first shot into the dark. Ready? Set. Good. Alright. So I need some coins. Coinage. Remove the doy stop. The doy stop. The doy stop. Move the doy stop. Close it up. Now granted, I still have to replace that, which that's not hard. So, okay. Okay. It's spitting coins out at me. So does that mean that something internally has been bumped? Knocked loose? We'll see. Oh boy, now here comes the fun part. I have to manage to jigger this thing open again. Come on. Come on. Hey, there we go. Alright, so why are the coins not taking? Speaker's making noise, let's see. Maybe it's the coins that I'm using? Let's see. Get some different coins here. Alright, so check this. Okay, so that much does work. Okay, so the only thing that I actually replaced was the fuse, but I'm not sure the fuse has anything to do with it. Right? Everything comes on. So I don't know what that button does. Yeah, see, it's not... Interesting. Very, very interesting. Like, I don't know what those switches do either. Troubleshooting 101. Troubleshooting 101. It's like it's not recognizing that the coins that I'm putting in are the coins that came with it. Does that make any sense? It's also not... The metal lights are not lighting up. So does that mean that... Did I blow a fuse? Because it still pays out. It's just not accepting the coins. It's just spitting them out the front. Almost makes me wonder if it's got something to do with this. The coin acceptor. Ooh, Lord, which needs to be cleaned, but you know, I knew that was going to happen. It's full of hair and everything else. Like it comes down. See, I don't know anything about coin acceptors. Really honestly and truly, I know nothing about coin acceptors. I know nothing about any of this stuff. Back in the hole. There we go. Right? See, I'm almost wondering if the fuse that I put in there was not a 1 amp fuse. It wasn't. It was a 2.5. So does that mean that if I put the other fuse back in there, that it will work? Can't hurt to try, can it? Where did I put that little 1 amp fuse? Did I throw it away? You suck. Anyway. Alright, well, now we have an issue. We know that the tamper alarm works because we got that to sound again. The 1 amp fuse, I don't know exactly where it's at. I will have to take time to fish it out, I'm sure. Because like I said, it was just a tiny little 1 amp fuse. And I cannot get lucky enough to fish through my trash and find it. Which I don't think I'm going to do anyway. But I don't think that has much to do with it. Like I said, it's just a tiny little 1 amp fuse. Maybe putting that 2.5 amp in there allowed too much power to go through. And it ended up tripping another fuse somewhere. I don't know. See if I can find something to pop that fuse out without electrocuting anything. Yeah, it immediately popped that fuse. Immediately popped that fuse. And that's a 2.5 amp fuse, and it popped it. So will it come on without that fuse in it? Because from what I was told, that fuse just runs the stop, these things. Apparently that fuse runs a lot more than just that. Huh. Now that's interesting. It hasn't popped anything else. Right? Reset everything. Reset the breakers. Okay. So it's got to be that 1 amp fuse that popped, but this one is a 2 amp fuse and it popped. Now that's interesting. Put a 1 amp fuse in there, and it popped. Put a 2 amp fuse in there and it popped. But we still get the tamper alarm. Still get the tamper alarm. But we get nothing else. So, making sure that we won't spit out any more coins. So I'm going to stop for today. Things have gotten interesting. I don't know if you can see my Schmexy face or not. Things have gotten interesting. All I did was a bunch of cleaning. I didn't actually replace any components except for the fuse. And now it's not accepting coins, which is odd. We know that the tamper alarm works. We know that the lights work. Everything else fires up. But I cannot get this thing to accept the coins. It just drops them through. And I don't know if it has something to do with this. See, it just spits them out. Instead of actually counting them coming out over here. So I don't know, but yeah, well, we will see how everything goes. We'll see if I can maybe fix it or not. That might be in the next video, we'll see. But anyhow, thanks you guys for coming along with me. As always, you don't have to subscribe, but it is greatly appreciated. You don't have to like, but that's appreciated too. If you would do both, I would love it. It would make me very happy. So I hope to earn your subscription, and we'll see you on the next one.